I used to love everything about Japan. Growing up as a kid, I'd see ninjas and try to do some karate moves. I love sushi. And then the Buddhist monks, how they would look inward to find their problems. But now, as they breathe and they meditate, they breathe in those Fukushima hot particles to their lungs with every breath. You need to open your eyes now, look around you. The mutations are around. The average shelf life for a Fukushima black bag is 5 years. Most of these Fukushima black bags were packed 2012, 2013. They're literally falling apart. They were not meant to hold radioactive particles. The Wigner effect will break down those plastics faster than normal dirt would, by at least 100-fold. So if they go to pick up one of these Fukushima black bags, a crane, all the dirt will just fall out from the bottom. If they put these Fukushima black bags next to the ocean, they want them to float away. They want them to be forgotten. They will never be forgotten. Japan, they had a beautiful culture, ancient culture, destroyed from radioactivity. And you can never get that back. The best thing you could do is take your family and move far away as possible from Fukushima. Even if that means flying across to South America and starting a new life in Brazil, that's the best thing you can do to preserve your DNA. Because if you stay in Fukushima, you stay in Japan, there's not a day that goes by that you're not putting more Fukushima particles into your body. And your leaders have been captured. Your leaders have been compromised. They are greedy. They only care about what's in their bank account. They are being controlled. They have hijacked your government. They want you to look away. They want you to pretend everything is okay. They want you to smile in the face of agony. They want you to believe that you being happy will keep the cancer away. If you really love Japan, you will make sure leaders like this do not exist in your country. It might be too late for most of your country, but at least save your children. Get them far away. Because every chance they will get, they're going to put these Fukushima radioactive bags in your way. You're going to see these being used for construction projects. They're going to be using these in housing materials, to build schools, to build roads. The Fukushima black bags will be used in the construction. And they are going to be very brittle, and they're going to fall apart. And the dust will be breathed in, and there's nothing you can do about it. Because that's what they do. They want you to eat the Fukushima rice and pretend it's okay. Yeah, you might survive for today and tomorrow, for the next few weeks and months. But then, one day you'll get that doctor's calling you and saying, come in, I have some news to tell you. They won't tell you over the phone, and you go there. And they're going to tell you you have cancer, you have diabetes, your heart is about to go. And they're going to tell you we can't stop it, but we need to give you some radiation therapy. Do I think my politicians are any better? No. Eventually, Fukushima will happen in the United States because our leaders are too blind. It's going to happen here eventually. It's only a matter of time. We got plants just as old as Fukushima leaking. And the climate scientists, they want more. They want to build way more to save the planet. What a freaking joke. The whole thing's a joke. Everything changed after 3/11. Everything. If you haven't made any changes since 3/11, you've been living in the dark. Are you still eating seafood? I used to love eating sushi. I can't no more. Anything out of the ocean now in Japan, you can't trust it. I don't even trust Atlantic seafood anymore. You might be able to still get away with it, but I don't do it either. Local opposition against polluted soil in Fukushima. Planned used as a Hoban expressway construction. This is out of Kyoto News. About the plan of the Ministry of the Environment to use the contaminated soil, which was decontaminated, which is impossible. They've tried to build the ALP system to remove the radiation from the water, and the filters get dirty within a couple hours. They can't even take the filters out because they're so dirty. The system breaks down in less than a day. We do not have the technology or the manpower or the money to do it. They are too greedy. They will not spend. They will literally need to spend trillions of dollars to clean up Fukushima. You can't even put a price tag on the amount of contamination, the amount of damage that's been done from Fukushima. When you think about the billions of people that depend on the Pacific Ocean for their food, everything is going to have to change. And you just see people standing still and doing the opposite. To actually even consider to think to build more of these nuclear plants is a solution for green energy is just mind-bogglingly atrocious that anyone would think that. But that's where we are. So these Fukushima black bags are going to be used on this expressway in the southern Somo city of the prefecture. The city Hakura Administrative District Shigeru Sagara said he hopes to oppose it as is worried about the rumor. He also refused requests from the Ministry of the Environment for holding residents' briefing sessions. So residents were worried. They wanted to talk to their officials about this road being constructed with Fukushima black bags, and they were turned down. They weren't even allowed to even have a meeting about this. Regarding the use of polluted soil, the residents strongly opposed the verification tests in the city road of the Nipponmatsu city, the same prefecture. Although contaminated soil said that the concentration of the radioactive substance is below a certain level and safety is not a problem, the current situation that the local understanding has been significantly highlighted. Sure. What do? They just take some regular soil and they mix it with contaminated soil and they get underneath a certain limit and then they say, voila, it's safe. But no radioactive particle is safe inside of your human body. You need to forget about living in Japan for the next 450,000 years. Then you can come back and you can finally eat from the fields of Fukushima. But it's going to take 500,000 years. It's a long time to wait. Is it worth it? Poisoning fears as Japan plans to use radioactive Fukushima soil to build its roads. You could imagine traveling down the radioactive roads of Fukushima built soil. And these roads, they're going to crack, they're going to break down, they're going to get into the dust inside of your car. And you're going to take this deep breaths. Every breath is a Fukushima hot particle. The Wigner effect will play a part in these roads breaking down quicker. You're going to have tons of potholes, that's for sure. Pretty shortly. They'll just fill it in with more radioactive gunk. There are fears that people could be poisoned amid plans to use radioactive soil from Fukushima to build its roads. But the proposal has sparked fury among residents over fears that they could be poisoned by the soil. A briefing about the plans on Thursday saw angry scenes erupt, with locals in the city of Nihonmatsu yelling about how the roads will be contaminated. Fears have been raised from radiation from Fukushima entering the food chain and poisoning people. In the last 2 years, highly toxic cesium-134, the fingerprint of Fukushima, has been found in certain locations along the U.S. West Coasts. Cesium-134 means the criticality is still happening. That means the reactors in Fukushima are still melting down, and they can't find them. They can't even find them. That's how deep they are into the earth. Going, who knows, they probably moved off the Pacific and then out into the ocean. The cores are melting. Japan ponders recycling Fukushima soil for public parks and green areas. So yeah, a public park? Sure. Fukushima radioactive bag right there. We'll build a sandcastle out of our Fukushima particle. Great idea. And these roads that they're going to be using, the Fukushima black bags, they said there is some positives. They say, well, yeah, we don't even have to put lights on the Fukushima black bag roads because they glow at night. Ain't that wonderful? We'll save energy. You don't need to use condoms on the Fukushima roads because it kills all diseases and bacteria and viruses, including yourself after a few years, but nothing alive can survive the radiation from Fukushima for only so long. Soil from the Fukushima prefecture to be used as landfill for the creation of green areas in Japan. A government panel has proposed facing potential public backlash over fears of exposure to residual radiation from the decontaminated earth. The advisory panel of Environmental Ministry on Monday proposed reusing soil that was contaminated during the Fukushima nuclear meltdown as part of future landfills designated for public use. Critics warn of another tragedy as Japan re-embraces nuclear power. In its proposal, the Environment Panel avoided openly using the word park and instead said green space, apparently to avoid a premature public outcry. Following an inquiry from the news outlet, the Ministry of the Environment clarified that parks are included in the green space, in addition to decontaminating and recycling the tainted earth for new parks. The ministry also stressed the need to create a new organization that will be tasked with gaining public trust about the prospects of such models of recycling. To calm immediate public concerns, the panel said that the decontaminated soil and areas will be covered with a separate level of vegetation to meet government guidelines approved last year. That's right, we'll just put some grass on top of it. The Ministry of the Environment decided to reuse contaminated soil with radioactive cesium concentrations between 5,000 to 8,000 becquerels per kilogram for public works such as nationwide roads and tidal banks. Under these guidelines, which can now be extended to be used for the parks, the tainted soil shall be covered with clean earth, concrete, or other materials. Such a landfill, the government said at that time, will not cause harm to nearby residents, as they will suffer exposure less than 1 mSv a year after the construction is completed. The Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant suffered a meltdown when it was hit by an earthquake and a killer tsunami. I just want to run inside of these sushi shops. I want to go in there and I want to scream, "Don't eat the seafood, it's going to kill you. And if you eat it now, you are committing suicide. Don't eat the Fukushima rice. Don't eat the sushi. Stay away from Pacific seafood. Sorry, Japan, I used to love you, and now I hate you." You're welcome to take this trip with me. Let's wake up a few people. Peace.
Providing you with the knowledge to land yourself in an extremely uncomfortable conversation at a party with a very opinionated acquaintance.
Click here. Subscribe!